Hello students, welcome to chemistry online classes. Tunga PU College Jamkhandi. Chemical bonding and molecular structure lesson is over and let us move towards next lesson, states of matter. Unit 5th. Fifth lesson we are going to start states of matter. Already you know so many states of matter are there. How many states of matter are there? Of course there are 3 states of matter known to you. Okay, solid, liquid and gaseous state. Of course there exists fourth one, plasma. Okay, but not mentioned in our syllabus, so we'll not see to plasma state. So states of matter, 3 states of matter are there: solid state, liquid state, gaseous state. You know about these 3 states very well, but primary information is there. Okay, let us see the things in detail. Now out of solid, liquid and gaseous state, solid state is a very vast type of state and very definite type of arrangements will be there, and that's why solid state is differently we are going to learn in second PUC syllabus. Second PUC syllabus first lesson on itself is solid states. Okay, so we'll see that in second PUC. Left is liquid state and gaseous state. Many things are there in gaseous state comparative to liquid state. Okay, and liquid state maximum syllabus is deleted from your syllabus this year. Okay, so we'll start with gaseous state. Very so many things are there in gaseous state, so we'll see gaseous state, then few things in liquid state, whatever are there in syllabus that we'll study. Okay, so let us start with gaseous state. Okay, so states of matter, already you know that there are 3 states of matter: solid, liquid and gaseous state. Okay, whichever state will be there, there will be intermolecular forces of attraction existing between them. Okay, now let us see solid, liquid, gas. Let us take an example of such a substance which exists in all these 3 states. Of course, you know it is water. Same substance can exist in all these 3 states. Of course, solid can be, water can be solid in the form of ice. Water can be liquid in the form of water only. And water can be gas if it is in steam form. Okay. So same substance can exist in any of these states. Do you agree? We have seen example of water molecule. So first statement I have written here, same substance can exist in any of these state. Example, water. Water can exist in all these 3 states. Okay. Let us see what is relation between solid, liquid, gaseous and plasma in short. Okay, before we go in the detail of this lesson, introductory part C: solids, liquids, gases, and 3 first C, solids and liquids. How can solid be converted into liquid? Always imagine example of water molecule. Okay, so when heating is done, that time, for example, ice melts into liquid. On heating, solid melts into liquid. So on heating, solid to liquid. On heating again, liquid, heat. It will get converted into steams, vapors will form. So on heating only, liquid will get converted into gases. So thermal energy, heat related energy is called as thermal energy. Okay, thermal energy goes on increasing. On heating, solid becomes liquid. On further heating, liquid becomes gas. When gas is further heated, then comes plasma state, that is next state. Okay, in that gaseous ions will be there. Gas on further very high temperature, plasma state exists. That time there are gaseous ions will be there. Will not see plasma state in our syllabus, but just understand solid, liquid, gases and then plasma. Every time go on heating. Okay, gases on high heating, plasma state. Okay, in which gases ions are found. Reverse, gases on cooling, liquid, liquid on cooling, solid. Of course, Steam on cooling becomes water and water on cooling becomes ice. So you came to know that heat is related for physical state changing, solid to liquid to gas. How we are going forward, heat goes on increasing. Reverse, of course, cooling is required. Then what is further main change? In solid, all the atoms are compactly placed. All these things you know, just revise the thing. Solid arrangement of atoms is how? Very definite and very compact. Atoms are very compactly placed. Why? Because intermolecular forces of attraction are very strong. That's why molecules are very compact. Moving towards liquids, molecules are little away as compared to solids. And how will be the interactions? Interactions will be little weak as compared to solids. Molecules will be little away and interactions, intermolecular force of attractions will be little less as compared to solids. Moving towards gases, molecules will be far away from each other. Okay, and interactions will be very weak. Okay, so you are understanding that solid, liquid and gases and atoms very close, liquids little away, gases very much away from each other. Solids interactions very strong, comparatively liquid interactions become weak, and in gases there are very weak type of interactions existing. Coming to the point now, states of matter, 3 states are there. Now one substance can exist in any of these states. For example, water we have seen. When these 3 states are there, for example, water is showing all these 3 states, that time physical properties are different. Is it? Water is showing these 3 states. Okay, then it is having different physical properties. But same chemical composition, whether you write ice, water or steam, formula will be H2O only. For ice I will write H2O solid. For water I will write H2O liquid. And for steam formula will be H2O into bracket gas. Chemical composition same, chemical properties near about same. But physical properties are totally different. Okay. Let us see. Same substance can exist in any of these states. For example, water. The physical state of the substance depends upon which things? Okay. Physical state. Now we have seen that various physical states are there, solid, liquid, gas. Physical state finally depends upon which thing? Physical state depends upon 2 things. Okay. Coming to the topic now, see. Whether it is ice or water or steam, what changes are there? Or physical state depends upon which 2 things? Intermolecular forces between the molecules. Intermolecular forces means the forces existing between the molecules. Intermolecular forces, one thing. We have seen that in solids, intermolecular forces are very strong, comparatively liquid less, and in gases they are very weak. So different physical states depend upon first intermolecular forces between the molecules. One thing. Secondly, this physical state, whether it is solid, liquid or gas, it depends upon thermal energy of the molecule. That molecule is having how much thermal energy. What do you mean by thermal? Therm means temperature. Energy related to heat or temperature is called as thermal energy. Okay. So physical state of any substance depends upon 2 factors. Clear? Which 2 factors? Intermolecular forces which are existing. If intermolecular forces are very, very strong, solid. Intermolecular forces little weak, liquid. Very weak, gases. But physical state don't only depend upon intermolecular forces. Along with that, thermal energy of that molecule is also very important. Okay. So second factor is thermal energy of that molecule. Okay. How they are related we'll see soon. So now I told you that physical state of any substance depend upon two factors. Which two factors we have seen? Now we'll see first factor in detail. After finishing this, then we'll move towards second factor, thermal energy, and then we'll see how both factors are necessary. Physical state, why not only depend upon intermolecular forces, why thermal energy also necessary? So between these two factors, what is relation that we'll see, that will be today's topic. Okay. So I hope you understood how we are going to start this lesson. I told you states of matter are three. Though three states are there, we are going to see in detail only gaseous state. A bit at the end we'll see few things about liquid state, solid state completely in second PUC syllabus. Okay. So let us see intermolecular forces. The forces existing between various molecules is called as intermolecular forces. Various molecules, between the molecules. These forces can be, intermolecular forces can be of course forces of attraction forces, or they can be repulsion forces. Okay. Attraction forces we'll study here, and these attraction forces are called as van der Waals forces. Okay, intermolecular forces can be attractive or repulsive forces. Out of that, attractive forces are called as van der Waals forces. Now let us see the topic. What are different types of van der Waals forces? Student, understand the flow of the lesson. Okay. Van der Waals forces in detail we'll see. We'll see first factor first in detail. Then we'll go for second factor. Then we'll see the relation between them. Van der Waals forces, different types we'll see. First, dipole-dipole forces. Second, dipole, induced dipole. Forces. And third is London forces. Okay, London forces are also called as dispersion forces. All names go on remembering. Okay, so various types of van der Waals forces are dipole-dipole, dipole-induced dipole, and London or dispersion forces. These three forces we'll study now one by one. Let us start with dipole-dipole forces. Okay. So what is dipoles? Two poles, positive and negative. Name itself tells dipoles means such molecules should be there which are having two poles. Dipoles, two poles. One is positive pole, another is negative pole. So let us, to understand dipole-dipole forces, let us take an example of molecule HCl. Okay, how I will draw HCl molecules here, students. Of course, you know that okay, this is HCl. In HCl, single covalent bond is present. You know that compared to hydrogen and Cl, who is more electronegative? Of course, halogen. Chlorine is more electronegative. So chlorine will pull electron pair towards itself. Is it? Hydrogen and chlorine. Chlorine is more electronegative. So chlorine will pull electron pair towards itself. Okay. So chlorine will get delta minus charge and hydrogen will get delta plus charge. So you can see two poles are there. So it is a dipole molecule. Okay, what type of molecule we have taken? We have taken a molecule in which there exists a permanent dipole. Okay, in HCl, permanent dipole exists. Always H will be having partial plus charge. Chlorine will be having partial negative charge. Then students, here in the drawing you can understand that little more size I have shown towards chlorine. Because chlorine is more electronegative, it will pull electron pair towards itself. Electrons will go towards chlorine. So I have shown more size towards chlorine. I will write that electron density is more towards Cl. Okay, now I should not write that chlorine is more electronegative and all. Okay, so many times that things now over. As chlorine is more electronegative, it is pulling electron towards itself, and that's why electron density is more towards chlorine. Okay. Next now, dipole between two molecules. We should show dipole forces. See here, I will take HCl only 2 times. One HCl, another HCl, okay. So you can see that these are two molecules which are having dipole moment. Permanent dipole moments are existing. Okay. So this minus and this plus attracts, and this type of attraction is called as dipole forces. Can you see this? Why they will attract to each other? Of course, you know that opposite charges always attract each other. Who is attracting? Negatively, partial negative charge chlorine pole will attract partial positively charged hydrogen pole of another molecule. This type of attraction is called as dipole forces. Dipole forces. Opposite charges will attract each other. Where this exists, this type of forces will exist in the molecules which are having permanent dipoles. Let us see, things are very easy. First type of interaction, dipole. Already take two molecules which are already having permanent dipoles, so they will be attracting each other. If you will keep two HCl molecules in close contact, if they are away, no. When they will come close to each other, close contact with each other, that time these forces starts attracting, and like this they will attract. Opposite ends will start attracting each other. These type of forces are called as dipole forces. Explanation what you should write here. These forces exist between molecules having permanent dipoles. Okay, second, these forces, okay, these forces I will keep common. These forces are significant when molecules are close to each other, Next, these forces are inversely proportional to distance between the molecules, that is R. These forces are inversely proportional to the distance between the molecules, that is R. Okay. Relation. How exactly? Interaction energy for dipole forces. Interaction energy, whatever interactions are there, attractive interactions are there, that is of course inversely proportional to R, distance. How distance will be more, interactions will be less, attraction will be less. So whichever forces, they will be inversely proportional to distance between the molecules, that is R. How exactly relation is there? See, first thing, interaction energy is inversely proportional to 1 upon R cube. Solid molecules, in case of solid molecules, and interaction energy is inversely proportional to R raised to 6. See the things properly. R raised to 6 for rotating molecules. For rotating molecules. Okay. Like this, students, dipole forces over, and let us see what are induced dipole forces. Okay. So write the things properly. Yes, students, second type of forces we see are dipole, induced dipole. Go on understanding now. Dipole and induced dipole. What do you mean by induced dipole? Understand now. This type of forces exist between one molecule will be dipole. Dipole means a molecule, I should show like this, like HCl molecule. Any molecule like HCl which is having two poles, one is partial positive charge, one is partial negative charge. So this is a molecule, whatever I have shown, that is a polar molecule. Student, what do you mean by polar molecule? Polar molecule meaning polar molecule that is having permanent dipole. Understand the meaning. Polar means what? Which is having permanent dipole. Such molecule is called as polar molecule. Two poles are there, so it is polar molecule. So I should take one molecule because I am telling dipole, induced dipole. I should take a molecule, first molecule which is having two poles. So I have taken such a molecule. Opposite, I should take a molecule which is very non-polar type of molecule or electrically neutral type of molecules here. Opposite, I am taking a molecule, nucleus I am showing at the center, electrons are surrounding to it. Then for such a molecule I will call it is electrically neutral molecule, or I can call this molecule as non-polar molecule. Poles are not there. Okay. Or there is a symmetrical distribution of, there is symmetrical distribution of electron cloud. electron cloud is symmetrically distributed, undisturbed, everywhere equally distributed. Such molecule is there, opposite. Okay, now you have to understand what do you mean by dipole and induced type of forces. Where do these forces exist? One molecule is there which is already having dipole. Okay, polar molecule that is having permanent dipole. Another molecule is there. What type of molecule is it? It is such a molecule in which everywhere electrons are equally distributed. That is symmetrically electrons are distributed. Electron cloud is symmetrical. Words understand. Electron clouds means distribution of electrons is symmetrical. That's why poles are not formed. So I am calling this molecule as non-polar molecule. That's why it is electrically neutral type of molecule. Now what happens to and see? As these two molecules, if they are away from each other, no interactions are there. But when these two molecules come in close vicinity, or these two molecules will come close to each other, that time. Here you can see that this end is having partial negative charge. Okay, and we know that opposite charges always attract each other. This partial negative charge of polar molecule starts attracting nucleus of non-polar molecule. Opposite charges attract each other. Here nucleus is positively charged. So what I am telling you, partial negative charge, the end having partial negative charge of polar molecule starts attracting whom? Of course it will not attract electron. It will attract opposite charges attract each other, so it will attract nucleus. Okay, that's why nucleus slightly comes on one side here, because this end is attracting positively charged nucleus. And like this, electronic distribution gets disturbed. It disturbs electron cloud. Okay, nucleus comes on one side, and like this, after some time, this non-polar molecule also becomes polar. Okay, let us see how I am drawing this. Polar molecule I will draw as it is. Okay, this is polar. Now here what will happen? This negative end will attract nucleus. So nucleus will come on one side. Now here what happens? See. Electrons on other side. So this become delta plus and this become delta minus. Like this, dipole gets induced in this. Induced dipole in non-polar molecule. Students understood? The molecule was initially non-polar, no poles were there. But this attracted nucleus came on this side, electron cloud got disturbed and polarity got induced in this. That's why it is called as induced dipole. Initially it was not present, afterwards it got induced. And such a dipole is called as induced dipole. Okay? And now they will attract each other. Opposite poles attract each other, and these attractive forces are called as dipole and induced dipole type of forces. What explanation will you write for this type of forces? See here. Complete explanation I will not write. First point you should write these forces. Student, whatever I am telling, listen and write. These forces exist between. First point. These forces exist between whom? Between a polar molecule, that is a molecule having permanent dipole, and another molecule which is electrical neutral, that is non-polar molecule, in which symmetrical distribution of electron cloud is present. Okay, first point. Second point, how these forces get induced. One end having partial negative charge one end. Whose one end? Of polar molecule. One end of polar molecule having partial negative charge attracts nucleus of other non-polar molecule. So what happens? Therefore, electron cloud of non-polar molecule disturbs. Electron cloud disturbs. Okay, and polarity is induced in non-polar molecule. And polarity is induced in non-polar molecule. Okay, diagram you should draw. Last point, same as previous. These forces are inversely proportional to the distance between two molecules. How they are related? Interaction energy is inversely proportional to r raised to 6. What is r? Distance between two molecules. Okay, I hope this understood very well. Let us move towards next type of forces, that is London forces. Yes, student, third type is London forces or dispersion forces. Student, among these three types of forces, London or dispersion forces, very important. Put a start for this. Question will be repeatedly asked on London forces. So what are London forces? First understand properly. London or dispersion forces means what happens here. Here two molecules will be there. I am drawing two molecules. Guess which type of molecules I am drawing. Okay, so these two molecules, by looking only you should understand that what type of molecules these are. Electrically neutral. What you should call these molecules? Electrically neutral, non-polar, and symmetrical distribution of electrons. And there is symmetrical distribution of electrons. All things I am writing repeatedly because you should be familiar with the words. Okay, these are electrically neutral molecules, non-polar molecules, and there is symmetrical distribution of electrons. Okay, everywhere electrons are symmetrically, evenly distributed, so polarity is not there. Now here which type of forces of attraction are there? You can see that no forces of attractions are there. Okay, now poles are not there, that's why force of attraction is not there. How poles get induced? Try to understand now. Okay, now these two atoms, imagine that this is atom A and this is atom B. Okay, imagine that two atoms come close to each other. When they are far away, these forces are not significant. When they will come close, forces become significant. Both atoms came close to each other, then for a moment, for fraction of second, for very less time, momentarily, one atom loses its symmetry. For a moment, one atom loses its symmetry. Means what happens? This electron cloud, whatever is symmetrically distributed everywhere, somehow it will lose its symmetry. Means one side all electrons, maximum electron comes on one side. Okay, like that. So when it happens, for a moment. These type of London forces are not permanent. These are temporarily acting forces. So I am writing the word. This must come in the answer of London forces. Momentarily. Momentarily means for a moment, for some time, very less time. Molecule A, imagine that it loses its symmetry. How can it lose its symmetry? Either of two possibilities are there. I'll show that it will lose its symmetry means either nucleus comes on this side, all electrons will go on opposite side, or else what can happen? Electrons will come this side and nucleus will go on opposite side. Is it? There are these two possibilities. What happened here? Electron cloud, see here, electron cloud towards right side. Correct? Electron cloud towards right side. Or what is possibility? This is first possibility. The second possibility is electron cloud towards left side. Understanding? This happens when this happens for a moment, momentarily, for some time, for very less time, momentarily, one atom A loses its symmetry. Its electron cloud distribution gets disturbed, and after it loses its symmetry, either positive nucleus will come on one side and electrons will go on other side. So two possibilities you can see. Now the atom which is close to atom A, what will happen to this atom B? If electrons will come on right side, electrons will attract whom? Of course opposite charges attract each other. So electrons on right side will of course attract nucleus of B. Okay. So what happens here? What will happen to B? Negatively charged electrons will attract nucleus. So nucleus comes on this side. Okay, because opposite charges it will get partial plus and minus charges. Okay, like this dipole gets induced in atom B. I am calling it as induced dipole. Initially it was not present. Afterward it got induced. Such dipole is called as induced dipole. Why it got induced? Because of this. This atom A has lost its symmetry. First dipole got induced in this, and due to atom A, dipole got induced in atom B. Here what will happen? Positively charged right side will attract electrons towards it. Okay, so I will draw a diagram like this. Like this, here also I can say it is induced dipole in atom B. In both these atoms, temporarily dipole gets induced. Now you can see that these opposite poles will attract each other. These will also attract each other. This force of attraction is called as London or dispersion forces. Why London? Because the scientist, German scientist London proposed these type of forces. Okay, and that's why these forces are called as London forces. These are based on dispersion of electrons, so these are also called as dispersion forces. How will you explain these forces? First, as it is most important, if they have to ask question on these forces, only London forces question will be asked. All these diagrams you should draw very correctly, and explanation should be written like this, students. Students, this is all explanation of London or dispersion forces. Let us see the expression how you should write. These London forces of course exist between two atoms A and B when they come close to each other. Next, momentarily. So you should know that Momentarily, very important word. Momentarily, for a moment, electron cloud distribution in atom A gets disturbed. Here I have shown. Momentarily, for a moment, electron cloud distribution gets disturbed in atom A. Okay. Therefore, atom A becomes unsymmetrical and electron cloud will be more on one side. See here, momentarily electron cloud becomes on one side. It can be on right side, it can be on left side. You must show both the possibilities. Okay. Thus, for short time, for very less time, dipole develops first in atom A. Okay. First dipole gets developed in atom A. Next, this atom A afterwards does what? It disturbs the electron density of atom B. Why? Because that atom B is close to atom A. Temporary dipoles. I already told you that London forces exist for temporary time. Temporarily, dipoles of atoms A and B attract each other. Okay. Due to A, dipole gets developed in atom B also. These type of dipoles are called as induced dipoles. Okay. And of course, they will attract each other. So, I wrote that temporarily dipoles of atoms A and B attract each other. And this was first proposed by German scientist London, and that's why the name is given London forces. Definition, if asked for 1 mark, you should tell that force of attraction, okay, this force of attraction which exists between temporary dipoles is called as London forces. Of course, here also interaction energy is inversely proportional to distance between two molecules, and distance between two molecules is given by symbol R, and interaction energy is of course inversely proportional to 1 by R raised to 6th power. Okay. All these explanation and diagram as it is should come when London forces are asked. Now all these forces are over. 3 types: dipole, dipole induced dipole, and London or dispersion forces are over. Let us move towards these physical states also depends upon thermal energy. Okay, let us see thermal energy. Strengths here. Let us move towards the second factor which is responsible for physical state. Second factor is thermal energy. Of course, therm means temperature. So the energy which is due to temperature, that is called as thermal energy. Okay, so temperature if is there, then molecules or atoms will move. So what is written here? The energy due to motion is called as thermal energy. For example, one gas is filled in one container. Imagine that gas is there, it is filled in container. Gas molecules shows the property that they are always randomly moving. Random movement is there. But if heating is done to that gases, then that molecules will take heat energy. That will take more energy from heat, and then their motion become faster. Okay. So you can understand that thermal energy is the energy due to motion. Okay. It is of course directly proportional to temperature. If you will give more and more temperature, then motion will be more. Okay. Their movement will be more. So it is written that thermal energy is directly proportional to temperature. Of course, it is a measure of kinetic energy. Yes, you know that energy due to motion is called as kinetic energy, and stored energy is called as potential energy. Okay, so movement is there, so it is kinetic energy, and thermal energy is proportional to temperature, that is to kinetic energy. Now let us see intermolecular forces versus thermal energy. Okay, So you know that now any physical state depends upon two factors. First are intermolecular forces which exist between them. Three forces we have seen. Let us see the topic now. Thermal energy, how related to these forces. Okay. Let us see examples of solids, liquids and gases. Students, you know very well that in solids atoms are very close to each other. Compact arrangement will be there and these intermolecular forces, okay, will be strong type of forces will be present. Comparatively in liquids atoms are little away from each other and these forces are not that much strong, okay, and rather I can call it as weak forces are there. And in gases molecules are far away from each other and forces are very weak. Intermolecular forces of attraction is exist between gaseous molecules. Now students, see intermolecular forces and thermal energy. If heat is provided, motion becomes faster, means molecules will move far away from each other. Okay, intermolecular forces becomes weak. If thermal energy becomes more motion will be there. Molecules will move more. Interaction becomes weak. Okay, that is what we have seen that here gases molecules move away from each other and interactions are very weak type of interaction existing between gases. Okay, so if we will see the intermolecular interactions, that is what shown in these various states, we can see that what is these molecular interactions are very strong, in which interactions are strongest in solids. So predominance is highest in solids. Compared to gases, liquids have more, and compared to liquids, solids have more. So intermolecular interactions or force of attraction goes on increasing towards solids from gases. Okay, and thermal energy if we will provide, then what will happen? How much more thermal energy, that much motion of molecules will be more. Molecules will move far away from each other. That's why in between interactions will be less. So thermal energy predominance will be seen in gases. Okay. Now students, let us understand this by taking a daily life example of liquefaction of gases. Which example will take? LPG gas, whatever we are using in our kitchens. LPG, liquefied petroleum gas. Gas is liquefied into liquid. Okay, gas is converted into liquid. That is called as liquefaction of gas. Gas converting into liquid is called as liquefaction of the gas. Now, just understand the topic. What topic I am telling you? Liquefaction of gas. We have to convert gas into liquid. Gas to liquid. What is required? What should be done for the gases so that gas gets converted into liquid state? First thing, see here. In gases, atoms are far away from each other compared to liquids. Now don't see towards solids. Compare only gas and liquids. In gases, atoms are far away. Liquids, atoms are close to each other. So if we have to convert gas into liquid state, first thing we should compress the gaseous atoms. Agree with me? Once we put pressure, we'll compress the gas, then atoms will come close to each other. Like how are the atoms in liquids? So always remember students, intermolecular forces. What I am writing, see, intermolecular forces tend to bring tend to bring atoms close. Intermolecular forces will do what? They will bring the atoms close. Their tendency is like that. Thermal energy, what can we say? For thermal energy, we can say that thermal energy they are having a tendency to keep atoms apart. Totally opposite intermolecular forces and thermal energy. Intermolecular forces always want that atoms to bring close to each other, and thermal energy tries to keep it away from each other, tries to keep it apart. Okay. Now, first thing I told you that if we are converting gas into liquid, first thing what we should do, we should compress the gas molecules. So I am writing here, first thing we should do is compression. What do compression do? Compression will bring the atoms close to each other. So compression brings atoms close to each other. Okay, students, understood? First thing what we should do is compression. We are converting gas into liquid. Liquid's atoms are close, so we should compress and bring the gas atoms also close to each other. Now, just by compression, can gas converted into liquid? Okay, we compressed gas, atoms came close, same as in liquid. But just by compression, gas will not get converted into liquid. Why? Because another property of gas molecules is gas molecules are randomly moving. Always movement will be there. Always gas molecules will be randomly moving. Movement is shown. But liquid molecules do not move that much. Okay. So movement is not seen in liquids, but movement is seen in gaseous molecules. Okay. So just by compression you cannot liquefy the gas. So second thing what we should do, we should stop the movement of gas molecules because liquid molecules don't move. So we have to decrease the movement of gas molecules. Okay. Now how to decrease the movement of gas molecules? Movement of gas molecules is due to thermal energy. The energy due to motion is called as thermal energy. Now we should do cooling to gas molecules. We should decrease the temperature, that is cooling. How much temperature more, that much movement more. We don't want movement, means we should do opposite. Means we should do cooling of gas molecule. Once we will cool, the molecules will come. Of course, already gas molecules are close to each other. After cooling, their movement will stop. Okay, and then gas can be converted into liquid or liquefaction of gas takes place. So what you understood, student? For liquefaction of gases, only compression is not enough. Compression just brings the atoms close to each other. But along with compression, what else is necessary? Compression and cooling is necessary. What is cooling? Cooling is decreasing temperature. Cooling means we should decrease temperature. Decrease temperature means what should be done? Thermal energy should be less. Okay? So compression brings atoms close to each other. Okay? Cooling does what? Cooling slows the motion of the molecules. Okay, only understand the things. And like this, by two C's, one compression, one cooling. Two C's, remember, for liquefaction of gases. By compression and cooling, liquefaction of gas takes place. Okay. So student, here today's topic is over, and let us see next topic in next video. Till that, keep reading NCERT textbook.